How cinematic. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Easy Delivery Company. And it seems we're just about to head over with MK to the factory and see just what Easy Company's really up to. And it seems like they're up to a lot. Now, for the longest time, I thought they were just, buying out all the local businesses, but it seems like it's so much more than that, as there's something wrong with the people staffing them as well. I knew coming in that this game was going to have some secrets, but I never thought it would be to the level of questioning the entire nature of the reality this takes place in. But maybe on some level I could feel it from the start. Alright, we're going to take an inner city job in Snowy Peaks. Yep, that looks good. We just need to go pick up something from the pawn shop. We're going to be doing some high-end jobs here, because before we can do any of that, we're going to need $300 to buy the snow chains. Pawn shop. Oh, also, do I have coffee on me? I do. I have to get some more soon. I think we're good on fuel for now. I've done my own research on these deliveries and have determined that they definitely contain something suspicious, like cardboard. I don't know how to tell you this, but there's cardboard behind you right now. I knew this was actually a horror game. Oh, hey, it's a new type of cargo, transporting several potted plants. Well, at least it's appropriately sized to fit the bed. And so what we're going to do is just a whole lot of exploration in this part. I have a feeling we're close to the end, and I don't know if we'll be able to continue afterwards. I also don't know if it makes a difference how deeply I decide to dig, but hey, once we have everything, we can effectively retire, right? Anyway, this job we're doing right now pays out about 50 bucks, which should be nice. Well, normally it's just called soundtrack. I have no idea if it's like some separate group or artist that was like contracted to make this, or if it's actually like the developer themselves, but I should look into them because it's so appropriate for what this kind of game is. It's distinctly comfy, but it manages to blend in a way that really enables the road hypnosis. But the sun's only just going down. We've got all night, and once more, I'm in the dilemma of, like, my instinct is to cut all the time where it's just point A to point B. But of course I have to suppress that because it's a game about point A to point B, even over terrain we've already covered. I slowed down a bit there because I wasn't sure if that was a turn. I'm normally pretty against the faux PS1 aesthetic, and I think maybe we can turn it down? But I don't know, it just works so well with the fog. Being able to see that light diffusing in the distance. It makes rare but distinctive use of those really contrasting images. Really, in general, this game just kind of reminds me of falling asleep in the back seat on a road trip during the winter. I think we have made it back to Upton, yeah. Whoop, that was not the turn. Thankfully, we've got our snow tires. I really haven't commented on this enough, but the way this game does lighting, I mean, it's got that sort of brownish tinge to it that is so overlooked. I mean, normally games that take place in a snowy setting are just like bright white that just gets dimmer and dimmer as the sun goes down, but this has that sort of dirty look to it. We can even see it on the texture of the street, when all the dirt and gravel gets mixed in with the snow from being driven over. And we can even see it on the air and the sky itself. It's a subtlety that really helps ground it and, I guess, associate with those snow day memories. But I didn't even circle back to my main point, which is that when we pass under those streetlights, that too is like driving through town in a snowstorm. Everybody's inside, and it's like you're watching the Christmas special version of your own hometown. I'm really struggling to articulate this. I feel like I'm not finding the right words, but I mean, I feel like most people will probably get it just from experience. Don't need me to tell you. Okay, so we're heading... Actually, there is only one way, because there's no bridge from Winton to Lopton. Okay, so we'll see it after we cross the bridge. We've just got to make a left. I really appreciate the decision to not be able to see your character on the map. I mean, this is a game that doesn't really have a lot of challenges. If you're gonna die, it's usually because you flew too close to the sun, or flew off a cliff, which we've yet to experience. But, you know, it just gives that layer of planning. It gives that little bit of brain-required task. And, you know, also it forces you to learn the town, because after all, you're supposed to be integrating with this community. You're supposed to feel like you're part of it after a while. And so it only makes sense that the game would want you to actually learn the streets, because, like, you know, in a game like GTA, where there's waypoints and track markers for everything, it doesn't matter how long I spend on them, I never really learn most of the streets. With this, it's been completely different. Let's get into the bar. Got anything to say? Yo, I have a huge business idea for you. Picture a vending machine that sold other vending machines. Great, eh? I just turn around and shoot him because I need the idea for myself. Okay, what's over here? The cafe. I think I could use some food, or rather some coffee. Fancy seeing you here. If you ever get a break from this job, the locals have started meeting at Sixo's place. It feels good to have friends. And people to flirt with. You know, we were told that there's something wrong with the locals. We experienced it firsthand with the auto shop owner. But anyway, maybe that explains why they'll only talk to you with new things when you're doing a job, and will just repeat themselves in any other circumstance, including if you just talk to them. It seems in the beginning like you're really just, you know, coming in and doing a job, but as time has gone on, it's kind of had like the postman vibes. It feels like we really are the only thing connecting these people. I mean, sure, each person seems to be in multiple places at once, but ooh, maybe that's part of it. I mean, we never see them moving around. It's implied at different times like they do and don't. Maybe the fact that they appear all over has something to do with it. I mean, because their dialogue makes it seem like they physically can't go anywhere else. The roads here would certainly imply that. MK obviously knows more than they let on, right? Maybe not everything, but we're trying to help them to put those last pieces of the puzzle in. The only thing is that they seem to imply that the shopkeepers have something wrong with them, that they can be saved or fixed. Doesn't really play into the idea that this whole town is like a Truman Show sort of thing. But I just can't stop thinking about it. Oop. We're in the right place. We're going to the flower shop. So that's a little behind us. We could stand to fill up. If EasyCo offered mental health service benefits, I'd tell my therapist about you. You're lucky they don't offer benefits at all. It's $38. Now go away. You know, I'm not quite sure what's actually enabling the new songs. Because they didn't seem to unlock when we went around to the different radio towers. I'm actually wondering if it's not a change in tone brought on by the change in the story itself. I mean, things have gone from just chill to more dark and mysterious as time has gone on. Howdy, Whippersnapper. Nice to see you, Whippersnapper. If my time is almost here. I fear my time is almost here. Finally, some rest. Greetings. Have an easier day with Easy Predict. What you want, as soon as you want it. Sorry, I don't know what came over me. Old habits. They're trying to turn you into literal company drones. Alright, here to look at you all completely snowed in. We really are the bridge. Huh? You know, I always find myself in need of some dirt, and I can never find any. Then, one day, it just started showing up. Like dirt from heaven. I haven't seen any glitches from you. I don't know, maybe you're immune in some way. Like they just can't penetrate your unique brainwaves. Now there's a thought, maybe they're actually doing something with the radio towers. Yo! The people in town are getting together more often. More people to pitch my self-deleting spam email idea to. Alright, once more, I may have to keep this guy chained up in my basement and just constantly feeding me ideas that I steal. In any case, I'm starting to think about all of this and realize that the mood has definitely shifted, not just in terms of like becoming more spy and intrigue-like due to learning more about this company, but actually in terms of, I don't know, feeling like everything's slipping away. We're still doing our job, but there's a sense of loss here. Like just watching everything deteriorate around us while most of them seem to have no idea. There's something really creepy about a downfall that only we seem to notice. You know, they're starting to talk about how people are starting to meet more often. Several of the last few shopkeepers have brought that up. Maybe that is actually important, because it seemed before from their dialogue like they weren't really meeting up. Almost there now. I've got to say though, this has been a difficult series in that after a while I am struggling to find things to talk about during the point A to point B. I can only talk about the atmosphere of this so many times, although, you know, as we make progress, the main source of interest is just what is the nature of what's being done to them. Really, not the nature. I think it's pretty clear after the last couple of dialogues that the company wants perfect, obedient workers. The real question is how they're doing it. And my prevailing theory is still towers, but I don't know, we were fully airborne for like 2 or 3 seconds. I feel like I deserve a raise for that. But the question then is, you know, we're an employee, why isn't it affecting us? Why isn't it affecting MK? How much do we trust MK? There's potentially another question. I mean, how do they know so much? I don't know, maybe I'm just being paranoid, but living in a town run by an evil corporation that seemingly has eyes and ears everywhere will do that to you. Okay, no, maybe this is all part of my training. Maybe this is how I become a real trucker. I've pinpointed it. Do you know what this reminds me of? I mean, I had said before that this game reminds me of the PlayStation demo discs that I would play on a snow day, especially if that game also featured snow. It's the Mercenaries demo. Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. You remember that one? I need to try and emulate that game. I haven't thought about it in years. Wow, the mind really does wander on the road, doesn't it? Taking a job from Smalton would probably be the best way to go forward. There we go. That's gonna get us so much. Any other time, that would be a lot. Okay, we're very low energy. Let's have some coffee. And warm ourselves in the car. I really didn't like this effect before, and when I'm trying to do something I still don't like it, but when you're sitting in the car just waiting for it to go away, it's like I said in the first episode, it's the good pain of when you're still freezing but you can feel the heat blasting on you and you know you'll be nice and toasty in a second. Let's go into Easy Eats. Actually, what can we buy anything from you? I've also noticed more and more often we're finding you guys in weird dark corners instead of behind the shelf. Howdy, whippersnapper. I believe in you. You know, I said at the start that there's probably something important in that wall of text that goes by even before the menu. I had a look at it, I slowed down the footage, it doesn't say anything really directly, anything much anyway. But it was important. It was very important. In fact, it foreshadows the entire game. Let's look for some more jobs. $83 to Snowy Peaks? It's all I do around here is just up and down and up and down. I met new friends yesterday at the coffee shop. They're so accepting of me. Kind. So many new friends. I don't know why that creeps me out so much. The idea that they're starting to gather, I mean, that should be a good thing, right? And maybe it's nothing, but I can't help but notice it because they keep talking about it. Maybe it's going to turn out that all of this is just an elaborate training program. They put us in a simulation and we drive all kinds of tough roadways, dealing with all kinds of friendly and unfriendly people to see how good we are for the job. That's a hilarious sci-fi horror story if true, by the way. I mean, it's almost like that one plot that Rick and Morty did in an episode where you're plugged in, you live an entire life, and all of it is just a game or a simulation to the point where when they take you out, you have a real sense of loss for the life you thought you lived, and then it's all for some petty, stupid purpose. I've been trying to keep an eye out on the side of the road more, and I'm just noticing more and more ramps. I mean, some of them look like they're just there for a spectacular wipeout if you're not paying attention. But I am wondering if some of them might actually lead somewhere. Maybe it's just like the nature of the longer jobs I'm taking though, but it feels like our energy is draining a lot more quickly these days. Like I pretty much only drink coffee. I don't even remember when I last bought an easy energy drink, but I'm just, every time I look, it's at the bottom. The last time I had this thought was also on the street. The streetlights here make me so nostalgic for my hometown. And really, I mean, it wasn't even on a mountain or anything, but I can't believe how much this game reminds me of it aesthetically. Empty streets, brick buildings, and one streetlight in the fog or the snow. Maybe that's why this game is landing so well with me. Maybe that's why it has such wide appeal. I mean, it hits those little things that bring your mind back to childhood. Those times where you were falling asleep in the back. Those times where you were staring out your window at night. And all we have to do is cross this roadway. That was a real easy $80. Come on. Oh, I thought I had some more coffee. Alright, well, we'll have to go pick something up then. Maybe the reason we've been able to resist company influence is because of our choice of drinks. Maybe it takes a while. They said that the only drink we were allowed to have was the easy energy drink, but we've been relying on that less and less. Wow, what is this camera? Oh my god, I'm gonna freeze to death right here. I can't move. I can't see. Thank you, game. Thank you so much. Drink the one I had from before, walk up, bye. Take that as well. Wait, did you get it? Okay, now you got it. Thank you. Okay, note to self, never use this absolute trap of a vending machine ever again. Greetings. I think that Ellie and Fortino are in love? That is a special thing. It's new to me. I miss you when you're not here. Is that a normal feeling? I'm new to feelings. I was talking throughout this entire series about how a lot of the time we feel that connection, especially because we spend so much time out in the cold. It's a relief when we get to talk to someone. Well, they're isolated too, and they feel the same thing. That right there might be the closest I've ever been to just flipping this thing. In fact, it actually felt like the game was assisting me in not flipping. Yep. Well, that was pretty close as well. In fact, it was probably an identical angle. Somebody get a protractor. And also, I think I've identified why the glitchiness kind of feels so dreadful. It's not just because you're the only one that seems to notice. It's isolating. I mean, we spend the entire game isolated, and so when you start to lose that sense of connection when you go into the shops, when you wonder if they're even real, I don't know, it's unsettling. Although that feeling has actually waned. It was worse when it started, because now I'm pretty sure they're at the very least actual people. Maybe I'm being too forward again, not that I'm known for that or anything, but it's so great to have real friends. You're my friend. There, I said it. That'll cost $4.75. I didn't mean to drink that, but wow! Huh, what I thought was the top of the bar was actually never really the top of the bar. Yeah, that's okay, we're gonna buy a bunch more of these right now. The birds. They run away when I approach them. They know I'm onto them. Oh, I thought you were delivering an ominous message, but it turns out you're just a weirdo. I don't think they're real. They're not, but the world isn't ready for that yet. It's not a conspiracy, it's just for everyone's protection. Or I guess a conspiracy can be for everyone's protection. I mean, all it is a group effort to conceal something, right? I've noticed that my brain, doesn't remember the layout. It doesn't remember, a picture of the roads. It remembers the feeling of driving on the terrain of a given area. Like, going down through here is a muscle memory. But yeah, when you do the inner city jobs, it always feels like everything's so far away, and then you're there within 2 minutes. This game actually does a very good job of being a small map, but still managing to bake... actually, wait, there's a dock down there. We're going to have to go see that. But it does a good job of having a not-so-big map, but still being able to feel huge. GTA San Andreas was actually famous for that. Like, when you take the game and turn off the fog and no-clip to a high level, it's incredible how small that game actually is. There's another ramp. And see, this is the kind of thing that seems like it would be annoying, but is actually a whole lot of fun. Those moments where you're just working out like, okay, well, I see that, and if I'm here, then that means I need to... I think over time I'm actually coming to prefer maps that don't show where the player is. I mean, of course it's dependent on the game, but I'm starting to think I might like it in most games. Since we got no load, we can take a shortcut. Our headlights are clipping under the snow. Which I suppose is actually something that could happen. I suppose if you take an angle the right way, you could potentially put the front of your car under snow to that extent that you blind yourself. I mean, at that point you have bigger problems. Depot. I'm such a fan of the atmosphere in these shops. They're so dark. I think that's one of the first things that tipped me off to the real nature of this game. Please. I'm worried about Ellie. Can you try to go check on them? When I try to leave this spot, You literally can't leave. I stood with Ellie all night last night, but now I can't seem to move. Like they're specifically inhibiting your individual abilities as you resist. Tell Ellie. Welcome, valued customer. How might we assist you today? You know, it's strange. I've played a lot of games with evil corporate overlords. This is probably the most disturbing, the most villainous by far. Yeah, but then again, I haven't played Cyberpunk yet. I'm gonna buy the fishing rod. I'm gonna buy the fishing rod. And I'm gonna get some firewood. I mean, it kind of sets us back to square one. Almost, but hey, we're making money anyway. Whoa! I always forget about that. Imagine them just watching us do that. Your package has arrived, pizza place. Here you go, Mamma Mia Pizzeria. Only like 7... No, that's a decent amount. God, this looks ominous. Hey, when you see old Tui again, give him a dead-eyed stare for me, would you? I love this little rivalry that's not a rivalry. Anyways. You know what? Yeah, look at that. I had mostly ignored that, but there are actually paths through the snow, places where it's less dense, where we can get more grip. Worth noting, I came back this way because I really need more fuel. Hey there. You know, bucko, you're starting to grow on me. Here's $34.50. Just kidding. It's opposite day. You mean it's not opposite day? Pay up. Go away. You really had me going there. Thought that somebody like you was capable of a character arc. As it turns out, you're just a static sociopath. You know, actually wait, is the gas station owned by Easy Company? I'm pretty sure it is, right? It's like Easy Fuel or something. Well, it doesn't say that, but your logo is on it. But you're the only one that doesn't seem to be affected by it. Then again, maybe you were already the model employee. Maybe they didn't have to do anything to you. Let's try it. Camera, I would really like it if you turned around right now. Camera. There we go. Now we're gonna take our firewood, add wood, and okay, so $20 gets us like a few things. Light, and hopefully that stays. Actually, for $20, maybe it doesn't. But in any case, we've got our fishing rod now. We've got our coffee powder. We can make some. Let's place the pot. And coffee. Oh, look, 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 look. We can actually see the fish swimming under the ice. Fishing rod? No. Okay, maybe if we sit back a little bit. And wait for you to do something. Nope. Do I need bait? Hang on, I'll check the objective in a second. There we go. Gotcha, look at you. Alright, let's grab you. And, nope. Come on, nope. I mean, might as well drink that coffee, right? I got you. Let's just boil you alive, I guess. Is there something more I need to do? Oh, you're just slowly dipping beneath the water. That is horrific. You went from chilly to the exact opposite. Now, what does this stuff actually do? And maybe we'll hold on to it for a little while. Completed fish soup. Oh, that gives us, like, supreme energy. And I guess that little thing indicates that we have, what do you call it? That we have protection from the thermals. So this is probably, like, the best healing item in the game. It's the best of all worlds. Alright, let's take our stuff and get out of here. It's been so long doing that we no longer have the protection, but we at least know what it does. Soon, very soon, we're gonna be better equipped for this. I really hope I can pull out of here. Thank you, snow tires. I just realized it says prawn shop and not pawn shop. Those twins are always talking about each other. But have you ever seen them together? I think there's 3 of them. He's a little confused, but he's got the spirit. Still, it is a distinct possibility. I mean, after all, it's very easy, apparently, to be in 2 places at once in this world. No, there's a shortcut down there. This is something else. Yep. I don't know what that did for me. I mean, it got me up to here. What was the point of that? It's just a jump. Whoa! It must be really hard to actually lose something in this game. $100 jobs to snowy peaks. $100 jobs. I'll take them. I've seen you here. I think a lot about love. I didn't really understand there was more to it than flirting. I've decided I'll stay here forever and search for love. Even if I find nothing, I'll have lived a full life. You know, to some that sounds like a nightmare, to others that sounds just like contentment. I guess all the best to you. Wow, it is really, really dense out here. I don't even know which way I'm going anymore. Thankfully, the signs have got our back. Yeah, I really don't know how much of this I'm going to end up cutting because it kind of is a grind at this stage. Granted, I'm doing all the side stuff too. But it's a lot of back and forth. And once more, I know that's the point of the game. This would not be an issue were I not doing this for a Let's Play. That was crazy. I watched the gradient of the shadows deepen as I rounded the corner and as the snow was at its peak. Also, I haven't turned my headlights on yet. That's incredibly dangerous. This would be the one time it decides to add wrong way trucking. And as if I've been staying in any lane the entire time. You know, it's great that Mountain Town is... Hang on, this is unfitting music. You know, it's great that Mountain Town is... I'm gonna turn it off entirely. It's great that Mountain Town is the starting area because it's the one that is actually not the easiest in terms of roadways, but it is the most inviting. You're always in a town. There's the space between them, sure, but that's fleeting. And going through the middle always feels like, I don't know, a respite. Whoa, we lost everything. That was just from driving too fast. What? Well, it's a good thing everything reassembles into a full package when it falls out. That's actually a really convenient feature. It's also another argument towards the simulated reality of this place. Without music, hearing the crows, this feels a lot more desolate than I'm used to. I don't know, maybe it's just the specific time of night, but the dark seemed darker. And that's with perfect visibility. You know, when our buddy started talking about how the birds, he can't catch them and he doesn't think they're real, it ended in a gag, but I was really thinking that he was going to start to say there's something fishy about the birds. And, well, so many things are in this company's pocket, including the people. I have started to believe that that might be the case. The birds being more than what they seem is actually pretty high on my list of speculations. I find that the more adverse the conditions, the more I enjoy this game. Like, the worse it gets out there, the comfier and warmer this car starts to feel. The crazy thing about this game is that it actually has such a perfect understanding of what's needed that it actually has almost contradictory mechanics. It absolutely holds your hand through the actual jobs. I mean, it's so hard to flip over. It just puts you right back if you do. There's a reset button, and even losing the load, it'll just spawn it right behind you, fully intact. But at the same time, it's unforgiving in the cold. Of course, it gives you a bunch of ways to deal with that. And so you're always having an easy time, but you almost always feel the harsh conditions. And the reason it wants you to feel those harsh conditions is because it wants you to feel nice in being able to defeat that. Still, there's this thing when it comes to commentary where, you know, I'm a YouTuber. I dread silence. Not because I don't like silence, but because, you know, I'm worried about losing the audience. And whenever I'm watching back in editing, I know that, you know, statistically you will lose people the longer you go without talking, but it's never as long or as bad as it feels like when I'm here playing. Like, there are a lot of silences that I end up leaving in because it just wasn't nearly as terrible as it was, or as it felt. So I don't know, I guess being in here playing, trying to pay attention to, like, several different things at once, maybe that kind of distorts the sense of time. Huh? I caught Fortino trying to deliver me dirt. What a perfect little sweetie. What a wonderful, sweet sound when they spoke. How listening to someone you love soothes your ears. Okay, I actually had, like, stuff to tell you about. Do you mind? Oh, you're taking attitude with me now? I've just had the most beautiful of days. I feel things I've never felt before, like a flutter of elephants in my heart. Elephants are the pretty bugs with colorful wings, right? Yeah, okay, great, good. They are, by the way. Sun's coming up, so we've got that going for us at least. It's so funny, it's so bizarre to me about this game, how it kind of trains you to ignore the obvious sound of things falling out the back of the truck. It's almost comical. It's like how when you start a job, you know, you're so eager to be like, okay, I'm going to come in with maximum energy every day, and I'm going to do everything perfectly and make sure everything is just done right and with the utmost care for quality. And then you get your first job delivering pizzas and trying to stop that tower from swaying as you take these hairpin turns, and you're like, you know what? Screw it. This game really wears you down when you realize you don't need to do that. It's about shredding your optimism. Maybe the brainwashing has worked on me. It's a pretty short game, too. I mean, this is only part 3. I suppose I spent a decent amount of time on the driving. But, you know, every once in a while, what I'll do in a game is I'll be like, if I'm not sure how much I should commit to a series, I'll look up a walkthrough, and instead of actually looking at the contents of the walkthrough, I'll just look at, like, the chapters compared to what I've done so far and be like, okay, I played 2 hours already, there's this many, so we can extrapolate that it's roughly going to be this much. And with this game, when I looked, I was like, geez, I barely played. I'm like halfway through the game. But I guess that's not considering the fact that you can spend as much time in it as you want, and, you know, I can imagine coming back to this, not even to play the story, but just as a stress reliever. It seems like that's its primary purpose. Which is why it's so interesting that it's attached such a deeper plot to it. A plot that can only be solved by trucking. Easy delivery company, easy peasy is our motto. Yep. Here's your frickin' boxes. Look at all that change. Now let's spend all that change at the gas station. And at a certain point, I swear I'm gonna make this guy give me $34. There is a radio station that only comes on right here. And in fact, we can't change it, can't turn it off either. And just like that, it's gone. Along with the contents of our stomach. There's something really eerie about twisting down these blind roads with the prattle of news in the background. Need some fuel. You again, eh? I hate to say it, but you're a real hard worker. It gets real lonely out here, and I don't hate your visits. But I've got to charge you $30. Now go away. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. At a certain point, you really do just stop caring, huh? So we're taking pizzas down to Clifton. I don't know if we're going to the auto shop or not, but it's right next to the auto shop, our destination. So that's where we're headed. Yep. Look forward to hearing from this old-timer again. Hey, how come EasyCo gave you right-handed drive in the truck? Better yet, how come they let you drive at all? You drive like a goose gained sentience and lost its morals. That is a nice rare insult. I'll be stealing it and not really applying it anywhere because I'm not sure where I would. Thank you very much. You know, for the longest time that wasn't true, but in these last couple hours of gameplay it really has become the case. Once you realize there's no consequences, you just stop caring. Where are we going exactly? It should be... Oh no, it's down the hill. It counts that as Clifton. Okie dokie, down we go. This thing at first looks like a runaway truck ramp. Easy Auto, I believe our business is about to conclude. And hopefully resume once we save the town. So hopefully we save the town. Something can be restored. Unable to receive directive. Trouble connecting to Easy Coast servers. Yep. Have an easy day. Ice chains. These should help you keep your speed on the ice. That'll cost $300. Your upgrade will be installed right away. Thank you very much. So we need to keep our speed on the ice. Doesn't say anything about stopping us from falling through. Let's go down to the lake and test this. You know, driving a truck on a nice lake at night. What could go wrong? Let's see what this thing can do. Whoa! That wasn't just falling through. That looked like something was coming towards me. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Alright, this is the way we wanted to go. There's something right there. We're gonna have to stop on top of it. Yep, oh my god. Let's see what's happening. Go through here. They'll come from there. We need to stop on a dime on that little island. Because you are right on us. No, come on. Stopping is going to be really difficult. What happens if we bail out? What happens if we bail out on the island and then the car just keeps going? I suppose we can walk to it, but will it fall through on its own? And what happens to us then if we're not lost with it? Cat.web is also still playing. It's the ambiance of the lake, I guess. Yep. Here we are. Oh look, it's another one of those things. This truck wants to slide off, too. I did not mean to drink that, but what if we place firewood down? Nope, place it down. And build a fire. Takes 2, so $20, 2 fires. Light that. We've gotten ourselves into a situation, haven't we? Okay, I don't have any extra coffee I can put on the fire. I do have fish soup. But it doesn't look as though... Oh, bobblehead found! It was behind it. Wait, does that mean we're going to be able to have one of these in our thing? Okay, we need to go... I tried pressing A a bunch of times on the one down by the camp. Look at that! That is so adorable! Oh, I wish I had had that throughout the entire game. Okay, well, dismantling this fire ain't gonna happen, and I wonder if it'll stay here forever. Probably not. No matter. Yep, there we go. If I were to just show this footage racing down a mountain road while listening to the radio like this, you would absolutely believe this was a horror game. I think it was Jordan Peele who said that the difference between comedy and horror is the music, and I feel like you could do that mix and match with a lot of different factors and a lot of different genres. Let's get down there, get our lighter out. There must be something that I missed down there. There we go. Is that close enough? Yeah, I don't get it. What's the point of this? Bobblehead found. Oh, so there's another bobblehead. We can just collect them. I guess we didn't need the fire, but at the same time, we also needed the fire at this point, so I'm not too worried about it. Oh, it doesn't add the bobblehead, it replaces it. That's so cute how there's little bobbleheads representing, like, each of the different people in town. Do we have the ability to change it from here, or is it always just the last one we got? Hang on. Can't see what it said. I'm just curious also for a second, if we turn the CRT effect all the way off, That still looks good, but I've gotten used to it. Oh, hey, so when we go and visit you, then we can change out the bobbleheads. That is such a weird mechanic, but oddly nice. Terminated offline. You still say your goodbye dialogue, though. Wow. You get all jittery when you take that. Sorry, you don't have enough funds. Oh, right. Right, I forgot, I have no money. And also, I abandoned the job over there because I was just trying to rush this. Well, I guess we're in it now. We gotta go bring down the local company / essentially government. Well, I've had worse Tuesdays. Let's see what's over there. In the fog, your song is oddly reassuring. You got the ice chains? Good. It's a straight shot to the factory. You'll need some speed. I'll radio you once you're inside. I will go with you, but my programming doesn't seem to allow it. I've been trying for months to get in. Ever since... Anyway, make sure to top up on energy before heading in. Good luck in there. Okay, well, I'm topped up on energy now. I've also got the fish suit. See, the whole my programming line could come as a shock, but because we spent a bunch of time talking to everyone and doing extra jobs, it doesn't. However, it still leaves a lot of mystery. What was the event that got you to start on this? Also, don't think I haven't been thinking the entire time about MK Ultra. Like, it's right there, man. It was so obvious I didn't even want to vocalize it, but I've learned that I probably should at times. With 24 cents to our name after all this work. Let's ride. No, you don't. Thing under the ice. Whoa. Losing all visibility. I can see chasing me in the rear view. In we go. And flip. Imagine if somebody's job was late because of this. Whoa! I really thought there was going to be a... I really thought there was going to be a train coming right at me. Where's that radio? Nothing. Well, we've made it. Make sure our goals are clear. Completely empty for the very first time. Told me to top off on energy, but I'm waiting for the best opportunity. I can't honestly tell if I'm freezing right now. I don't believe I am. look at this place. Do you copy? Great. Try to find a control center. Hey. I never got your name. I'm sorry for all this. When you started up, I really thought Seb had come back. Seems like EasyCo really has shut down cloud-computed agents for good. So it's what I thought it was. I feel like this game has no right to be this deep. It's weird. It feels like it's deep, but it isn't. Like, it's a story that's 15 minutes long, and yet there's so much meat in the middle that it feels like we've been on a whole journey. Even if that journey was mostly unrelated. Seb and I were friends. Good friends. We were a little rigid around the edges, but we became as close of friends as two ML agents could be. Seb supported my dream of one day leaving this place I thought was terrible. But I think their heart was here with the shopkeepers. They saw each other a lot more through the deliveries. I was just fixing things in the background. Seb ultimately gave up their job to be with me. I'm trying to figure out the best way to put this, but it's the meat that makes this work. By that I mean, by having us spend time doing the nonsense, we don't realize that building those connections, building that familiarity, is what makes this so impactful. If we look around here, is there any reason for that? We can look around, although it just comes straight to an edge. You know, the walkie is our light. Our connection with others is our guiding force. After Seb shut down, all I wanted was to join them. Are these the servers? That's why I was trying so hard to get into the factory. But it's been really nice seeing the shopkeepers blossom into their own selves. All I want now is to keep them safe. Maybe they actually are robots, but developed into people. For Seb. Even if it means rebooting them. Oh no, are they gonna forget us? Why am I so sad about that? These people I saw for like a minute at a time? Here it is. The prompt just said choose. Recovery disk unavailable. SD units hydropower. We can shut down the hydro dam. SD units. I guess that's all the shop keeps. Faults present. So I guess the choice is between shutting them down entirely or rebooting them and maybe giving them freedom. Or maybe it's not freedom. Maybe it's just clearing the faults. Maybe it's just keeping them blissfully unaware. I don't know. It says recovery disk unavailable. I'm guessing what that means is that there's something we can get, something we can find that will allow us to get the best of both worlds, right? But in the meantime, I feel like this has to end. Shut down the Hydro Dam. All shopkeepers will shut down. Okay, no, it'll actually tell us exactly what'll happen. I like that. Some personality may be lost. If anything, they'll just go back to being good little workers. Yep, nope, shut it down. Shut it down. And do better next time. There we go. Core processing unit active. Just back to menu. Yeah, what happens if we try to load the save? It brings us right before to here. So there's still time. We can make this right. Okay. What if I told you there was a better way? Oh. No, no, no. There isn't still time. It's not a reload. We just have to live in a dead town. Job's offline. And that's the thing, they're not even really dead, they're just stopped. All of them just left sitting here in the dark. That explains why they were only... That explains why they kept the lights off so much. They only need enough light for me to come in and see, otherwise it's just a waste of energy. This is awful. I mean, it's arguably better than the alternative, but it's awful. I really wish I would have the opportunity to go back and try again. But this is the world we've created. This is the one I'm least looking forward to. Wait, that's the bobblehead. Everything seems so much darker. I guess none of those little lights are here. It really is just what's in front of us. The landscape and a cold, desolate town. And the trains, which still run. It honestly feels mocking at this point. So what do I do from here? Is there anything I can do? There's no jobs. I won't be able to buy fuel. And I apparently can't leave either. I really admire this game for its willingness to just let us sit in this, to have the save essentially be a tombstone. Recovery disc $300. Excuse me? That was just here? Alright, well, I guess we know how to do it now. But do we have to replay through the entire game? Oh, it is so dark in here. Absolutely haunting, just the world left in stasis. I don't know what else to do. Even if I could buy that disc, I don't have any money. If I go back, can I restore it? I would hate to have to replay the entire game in order to get this. The computer still has power. Can we undo this? We still can. We can still do something. Running on backup power. No, we can't do anything. Okay, you want to play with programming? Let's play with programming. Let's see if this works. Here we are again. MK, I have to tell you about the future. There you are! There you are! Okay, so what I did was I followed a Steam guide and went into the save file and basically changed it so that it's as if I got the reboot ending. But you're acting, you're acting like we haven't done it yet. And after all, it only makes sense, doesn't it? It only makes sense because you don't remember anything. Or you maybe have a little bit more awareness than the others. But everybody else, well, we'll have to go see what they're like. Let's go into the bar. You're nice and easy. Yo! Here's $1 million idea. Individually wrapped cookies that have ambiguous notes inside. I'll call them fate cookies. Sounds similar to something that already exists. I don't think so. Yeah, well, we have a new goal. Look, we've seen the future, and the future is awful. So what we're gonna need to do is make that money and buy that disc, which I would have done from the start if I had known it was friggin' there, but how often are we in the pawn shop? Sorry, the prawn shop. So that's what I'm gonna be doing for a little while. Shouldn't take but a moment, considering I basically made that whole $300 twice in this video already. Hey mate, I seem to have dropped the feminist literature I was just reading. Any chance you've seen it around? I don't know. It's a pretty innocuous statement, but I guarantee you could read way too far into it and get a whole lot of gamers really, really mad. Welcome to Easy Fuel. We have predicted the amount of fuel you require. $33 has automatically been deducted from your Easy bank account. Now go away. My joints seem to be freezing up. I'm feeling sleepy all the time. I'm sure it'll get better with... The errors are here anyways. I don't know if it's actually acting as if I got the reboot ending. I mean, allegedly it should be. But whatever. At least this gives us a chance. Ellie and Fortino, Tui and Fit and Reed, and Foreman and Sixo, Theo and Cece. They're my friends. You're my friend too. It's getting worse. Getting way worse. Also, I'm pretty sure I just delivered from you to you. Whoa, what the heck was that? Oh, hey. You heard that too, right? You're actually sort of picking up on the fact that this is happening. Everybody else has been more or less dronified. I kind of figured you would have some kind of resistance. Sometimes I try to talk to the birds. They ignore me every time. Must have been personal. Probably. I mean, crows can hold grudges. I'm gonna follow this down. Maybe it will actually help. Maybe it's a shortcut. I mean, it's gotta lead back to civilization somewhere, right? Just, make generous application of the brakes. Give a nice, easy load for this type of thing, and we're here. Easiest $20 ever. Just have to risk life and limb. This is a bit of a violation of my professional conduct, but I'm kinda out of time here. So what if we decide to go the real easy delivery route? Oh wow, I can't see anything that's happening behind me, but I know you're there. Okay, there's the other huts. So I know that there's flat land there. Oh. And away we go. Well, that makes this place a lot easier. How funny would it be if they actually tipped more, if you risked life and limb to get them their package? There we go. Wow. Out on the lake, you are truly actually blind. Alright, pawn shop owner. I wish I had known that you held the key to saving the town. I don't know if even you do. I think those radio towers are beaming secret messages directly into our brains. You know, from some of the dialogue, I started to think so too. Every time I change the channel on the radio, the music changes. Awfully suspicious. Okay, well... wrong evidence, potentially right answers? Hey there, MK. I know you watched me walk up through the door to complete your plan and then leave for a while, but trust me, it's all gonna be worth it. There's an ending to this even you didn't consider. Come at me, monster. By the way, I like how that's just out there and not something that the game is ever going to explain to us. It's something we have to accept. Yep. It's such a horrible twist that it turns out we were actually trying to perpetuate this, to fix what's wrong with them, but not necessarily free them because MK simply didn't know that was an option. For that, we've got to bring our own side into it. But bring it in we shall. Like, I thought we were trying to bring down the company, but that's defying MK. Just wanted to make sure things ran smoothly. And that's what's so great about, like, the sort of capitalist themes in this. It is about dehumanizing the people who live here. In this case, they weren't human to begin with and came into that humanity on their own. Sure, we can stick it to EasyCo by shutting everything down, but everybody loses there. So MK is trying to be more realistic, trying to preserve what he can, while not rocking the boat too much. However, we have our recovery disk. So let's get that other ending. Repair and restore SD units. And now we get a real ending. An actual credit sequence in which we find our car parked by one of the snowcats. So that was Easy Delivery Company, and while it's definitely a bit on the small side to the point where like it does become a bit of a grind, that was only really in the end, and only really because I started pursuing everything. I mean, I bought everything in the game. It is wonderfully good at what it does. It's cozy, it's a little bit spooky, and I really liked the twist on how they handled its overall story and conspiracy, because you feel like something is off from the get-go, but it's in a way that actually enhances the mood rather than takes away from it. There's something hidden under the surface, but what's there complements what you were doing on the surface. Special thanks, cat friends, Tom and crew. They could have made the obvious joke, you know, boss makes a dollar, I make a dime, but in the end they had a surprisingly nuanced view of the story. One with a surprising number of twists and turns, even in spite of the simplicity of it all, and the short runtime as well. It's really cool how they reveal the twist that they were actually automatons, but then it turns that on its head of, what of it? They've developed sentience, they've developed personalities that you like, and so they're worth fighting for. Now, last time loading into a save meant we explored a dead world. What does it mean now? We find ourselves back here at the precipice. You've gone home. Let's go see. I'm not probably going to do a world tour and go talk to everyone. I'm not going to make it a point. But we'll talk to a few, just to see what things are like. Yo! I'm just saying, this job could be so much easier for you if you automated it. Do not tempt me. And then spend all your free time fact-checking and supervision the automation. That was weird sentence structure. Depot. I'm feeling feelings I've never even imagined. It's like I'm running software for the first time. I'll just be here. Oh, you have no idea. None of them aware that I am their hero. And that's how it should be. No. No, I should be praised. But the bakery over there... What about you, weirdo? Huh? What is the exact date, day, hour, and minute you spawned in? Of course, in the end, you become self-aware. Not for any reason. But it's important you tell me right now. Wait, intrusive thoughts. Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god, I ended up on the roof. Yep. Well, that was worth the replay alone. Hey, look at that. Trees actually get knocked down. I didn't realize there was destruction in this game. I was driving so carefully for so long. Pawn shop owner, are you aware of just what you've done? I think those radio towers are... Oh no, you're saying the same things. Oh? Did you ever get a chance to really talk to Seb? You know those people you could just sit and listen to for hours? Seb was one of them for sure. Huh. No wonder I leave you wanting. Glad everyone remembers Seb, though. Easy, Mart. Hey, mate. I like to start my day with a simple 7-kilometer jog, followed by 3 hours of meditation. You should try it sometime. All a player of this wants to do is continue, and in the end, we get that. We get to have it both ways. They're their best selves, and they're somewhat free. And alive. My programming prevents me from giving you a free easy energy drink, but I might if I was allowed. Maybe. Once more, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, so you've beaten your record at least. Hi. Cold wind out there, Guppy. Do me a favor and close Stewie's door next time you're there. The cafe. Fancy seeing you here. Just what I needed. An average height, very cold glass of water. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, only saved the day. I love the feeling of just crawling up to a place in a snowstorm. Feels so cozy to enter. Perhaps it's not worth my time living in fear of everything. Admitting that good things exist means I accept bad things can happen, even to good people. You're getting too philosophical even for this game. Anyways, thank you patron Spark of Fire for pointing out that there is actually additional dialogue for us to get if we pursue the reboot ending. We just have to go up to MK's cabin again. So we're gonna go do all that. Recognize that song anywhere? Okay, so I tried it with the reboot ending. I can't physically get it because we're still holding the disc and there's no way to get rid of it. I even tried throwing it out. Didn't find anyone here while setting the save to reboot. However, in plain old restore and recovery, you are here. You restored the shopkeepers. I didn't know it was even possible. Well, that's because you never checked the pawn shop, where most world-saving solutions are found. If I'd known, You don't understand how much this means to me, my wonderful friend. Thank you. 1,000 times thank you. I think this means there's a chance I can find Seb again. I'm leaving right now. Even if it's just a small chance, I have to see if EasyCo made a backup. I'm confident I'm leaving our friends in great hands with you around. You've done a beautiful thing. Well, so have you, creator. Wait, new goal, restore. I didn't even know we had that as a goal, but there we are completing it. And I guess now I'll defer you to my previous outro, but this was definitely worth going back and seeing, so thank you so much, Spark of Fire, for telling me about this. Because this just ties our whole journey here together, doesn't it? You were the very first one we talked to. Howdy, whippersnapper. Have you ever heard of something called juice? What a concept. First and last words, compare them to each other and weep or something. I don't know. But yeah, this has been a really fun time, and I like that it sort of is fitting that a snow globe like this is rewarding you in the ending by allowing you to continue, but making it feel like you've gained something rather than just kept it. Greetings. Don't burn yourself out. Goodbye. Okay, I think that's you telling me to take a break, because this record session has been almost 4 hours. A lot of it's getting cut, I hope. I almost forgot, there's still one more thing to do. We never went to the island at the center of the lake. Yeah, we never activated that last radio tower. Pretty much the only way to recover from this death spiral was to take a local job, do it quickly, and then, like, slowly waddle over here so that I could get a few fish. So hopefully that works out for me. There we go. Now I need to get some gas. Thinking about world domination. Not for me, I'd say. For now. Alright, basically zero visibility out here. Where am I going? No idea. Straightforward until we see land? Sounds good to me. Right behind me. Oh my god, I'm trying to steer to the left. There's the bridge, which indicates that I may not be where I want to be. You're right on me. All I can do is try and hit land. This isn't where I want to be. None of this is where I want to be. I just wish I knew where I am. Oh, well, now I know where I am. And it ain't where I want to be. Let's try this again. There you are. We need to hit the first land we see. This is probably it. Yep. We need to basically launch ourselves, too. Listen to that. That's the same station we were able to hear over by the dam, but now we can hear it. It is a number station. Listen to that. Theory proven correct. All right, crash to the gate. There's a sign over there. Wait, are we able to read that? It probably just says, like, no trespassing or something. Also, there's the gate spawning in on top of us. Swing it around. Nope, it ain't gonna tell us. If we look at where we are compared to everything else, yeah, we are directly adjacent to the dam. Let's get in there. Well, we got an achievement. I'm not quite sure what it did for us, though. I've never really understood what these did. I've always felt like they're doing something more than what it's saying. No change here either. But at least we can change to other stations. We've got the full broadcast range now. And now all that's left to do is to resume our roll. And that's the cool thing about this. We begin just wanting to do the simple task of making these easy deliveries for Easy Delivery Company. And then we start to feel like something's off about it, just little hints in the dialogue. Then we come to really hate our employer, but really kind of be fond of the townspeople. We learn that something is happening to them and we want to do anything to help. And then we learn that they're not what we thought they were either. But by that point, do we care? I think that's the most interesting twist that this game goes for, is that, no, they're not what we thought they were. But what of it? We still like them just the same, and we'll still do anything for them. And it reinforces the small town vibe that this game has. In the end, it is a game not just about the driving, but about community. About those little interactions. It kind of makes this game, like, emotionally land a lot more than it probably even should. Not today. I think the really coolest twist about this game is that it very easily could have been a game about standing up to corporate overlords. It's been done plenty of times in games. But what throws that on its head is the fact that MK's goals were originally to do that, but in the end their goal is to repair what the company is doing, not out of any sense of loyalty or obligation to the company, but simply because it's what's best for the shopkeepers. Really, you could argue that the plot is not little guy versus big guy, but little guys helping little guys in spite of the big guy. Of course, by the end, if we're vigilant, we're able to take a third option. Hey there, you. I wish I had any money, but we can still talk, right? Are you dark matter? Because there's something absolutely undetectable between us. Oh, well, it's not undetectable. You made sure of that. It's meant to be a simple game, but even in the sort of cookie-cutter story it's telling, it manages to do it in a much more nuanced way than a lot of games, and it adds emotional depth that probably shouldn't have even been there. But it really works out. Well, anyway, I had a lot of fun with this, and if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one. And when you just look at that view,